Hey guys, we're back. This time we're taking a look at the Stars of Akarios expansion, Battles of Akarios, from Open Owl Studios. And this is a kind of like a one-off battle scenario way to play the game as opposed to the full campaign. You can pick and choose just single scenario episodes to play rather than the long campaign. And it also changed up things to make the game play a little quicker. But we're going to get in and take a look at what comes in the box. Now, being an expansion, this does require the base game to play. This changes up the rules in the base game slightly. So you have a small rule book here, which is going to explain the differences. And they've changed up a few things. There gives you a quick description of it, how to set things up. A few new things. The dice are used in place of the modifier deck. And these dials are used in place of the supply charges that your equipment uses. There's an open market that you can visit during a scenario to buy upgrades and modifications to your ships. And then they have an example down here of space combat. You can see the marketplace there, along with the map. And then a quick how to play on the back. Like I said, they changed the supply. You used to have each weapon had an individual supply amount listed, and as they were used, they were gone for the scenario. This, you have a supply dial for your entire ship, and that gets replenished and used as you use your abilities. And there's a description about the market here, how you can upgrade things. And then the way the modifier dice works instead of the deck. And there's one for the pilots and one for the enemies. I'm not sure if we're going to use the dial thing. I kind of like, or the dice. I kind of like the deck, but then again, in a scenario, a single thing scenario, you're not going to have that leveling up and customization of the deck like you do in the normal game. Next, we have our battle book. I'm not going to go through too much of this. I guess nothing's really secret in this because you can pick and choose any scenario. But you have your scenario over here, the objective of what you're after, any special rules, a little bit of story that goes with it. I don't know if it'll focus on that. And then down here is the key for what you're going to need for this mission. Pretty much the same as in the base game. And then instead of using the board, you actually have this fold out book. And the only complaint is that, of course, the seam goes right through the middle, so some of your hexes are like right half and half on that. They did a good job of putting it right on the line, so we'll have to see how that works out. But I know they had the new 3D scenery, and it's not going to lay flat on this because of the rings in the way. But the tiles and tokens should be just fine. And then all your markings on the map are pretty much the same as they were in previous versions. They're just printed straight on here, so you don't actually need like the tiles and tokens for these. You don't even need to put in play because they're literally already printed on the map. And it tells you where to put your enemies and what levels to put them and what player counts you're going to put them at. And there's a bunch of different ones of these, all with different story elements and scenarios to them. I don't know how many total. Let's skip to the back. There's 21. The last one is 21 there. So that'll give you some variety of just one-off scenarios to play. Next we have our punch boards here, and these are for the dials. There's one for each player. 0 to 10, and like I said, these are what you're going to use to keep track of your supply charge. Very reminiscent of like the attack ring, X-wing type dials. And then they have a pin that goes through the middle there. There we have our bag with the little pins that are going to go to assemble the dial. I didn't count them to see if there's any extras in there. Nope, there's exactly 8. So. And then we have our dice. And they're actually kind of light for what they are. I don't know what they're made out of. Maybe I'm just used to bigger dice, but yeah, they seem kind of light to me. They are engraved, so you don't have to worry about the things wiping off. I don't know if that'll show on the video. Yeah, you can kind of see engraved and colored. And then the various markings. I don't even know what all of them are on here. So you got +1, +2. That is, I don't know what the word is for it, resupply or whatever, but you get one of your supplied markers back. There's a -1. We've got stress, a 0. And I can't see that icon very well to see what that is. Not sure what that one is. +1 and a ship icon. I'll have to look that up. I'm not positive what that one is. Let's find out just to be sure. Oh, it's +1 shield. It's right there. So there's our stress, -1, +1 supply, +1 shield, 0, +1, +2 in stress. So there's no -2 on there. And there's no miss. Interesting enough. So that is interesting. And then the black dice were the enemies, and they have a very similar thing. They have a miss on theirs. Say miss, -2, -1, -1, 0, +1, +1, +2. So no critical on theirs, but they do have a miss. There's no critical on the player one either. Just noticed that. Interesting. Well, that's all that's in here, and then they just got a plain cardboard insert. Nothing spectacular there. You're probably going to toss this anyway and store everything in the base box, I think. Shouldn't be too hard. I think the book might be questionable enough if it can fit in the base box. But all the rest of this stuff should be able to fit, depending on your insert and storage. That's a look at everything that comes with the Stars of Akarios, Battle of Akarios expansion. Like I said, it adds single scenarios that you can just do one-offs instead of having to play through the whole campaign. The new supply and dice mechanics in place of the individual weapon supplies and the modifier decks. For single scenarios, I think the dice are going to be okay. We may mess around with them a few times. Haven't yet, but that's something worth checking out. The campaign, I still think, obviously the deck is the way to go because you're going to be modifying and adding and removing cards from that deck as you level up. So, definitely an interesting concept, and I can't wait to get to try these, along with all the other new Stars of Akarios stuff. Keep an eye on the channel. I'll be having more of these as I get through all of the new stuff and the 1.5 update. As always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.